sky's beautiful and so are you. I wanna make it up to you, start something new. Yeah, I've been thinking of the parts I played for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build and one that I am really excited to share. So if I could kind of sum up my channel in one, it would be literally that I do this style of build. It's a mansion, it's on a 40 by 30 lot, which is my favourite size, and it's in a big, beautiful, bright world. These are like my kind of signature houses, if you like. And it's been a really long time since I've got stuck into a big build. Now I've had a lot of fun actually since I've been back doing much smaller little cute villas, and it's something that I don't ordinarily do, so it has definitely been lots of fun. But I honestly could not wait to take advantage of one of these bigger lots, which is this one in particular is a 40 by 30 lot, and just get stuck into a really big build. So I had a lot of fun with this build, and I poured a lot of love and time, 6.5 hours of time into this build to try and create something using the maximum amount of items that I could from Island Living, and really just having a lot of fun playing around with the new items and seeing what I could do with them and seeing what style I could come up with. So the title of this house is Casa Amor, and some of you may be familiar with that particular villa name, and that is because it is indeed named after one of the villas in the UK TV show Love Island. Now, Love Island, people's opinions are very hit and miss. It's basically, for those that don't know, a bunch of like people go into a villa and it's filmed over something like 6 weeks, and they've basically got to find love, and they're paired up with like loads of different people and lots of drama happens, and it's just one of those sort of car crash reality TV shows, and lots of people slate it, and it's not, you know, it's not like the most the greatest viewing, if you like, but I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I think we're on like season 5 now or something like that, and I've literally watched them all, and it's like my guilty pleasure. So when I was coming up with a name for this particular villa, I was just going to call it Tropical Villa. And then I kind of thought, Casa Amor, oh, I can't wait to call it that. So that is what it's called, which also basically means House of Love. So yes, and a lot of love was put into this build. I had a lot of fun making it, and it was just really nice to get stuck into something really big again. And one of the things I've always said whenever I've built bigger houses is that I'm always looking for a lot that's like really nice and bright. I love building on big bright lots because you can really see what you're doing, and it also kind of gives the best pictures and things like that. So when I checked out this lot, I could not believe the light, and it was just perfect. It was meant to be. So this particular lot is a 4-bed 3-bathroom build, and it's based in obviously the brand new world of Sulani, and it comes in at just less than 269,000 simoleons. So it's not a cheap build, but actually for what's in it, the fact that I didn't actually do it to a budget, and knowing that all the things that I have actually put into this build, I don't really think that's too much of a bad price. You know, sometimes some of the bigger villas and bigger houses I've done normally come in around 300,000 simoleons, something like that. So it's probably even on the cheaper side from some of the builds that I do. So obviously, since I've been back and I've been playing with Island Living, I've only actually made kind of 1-bed, 1-bathroom builds so far. So I really wanted this to be a huge, big family home. I wanted it to really have that kind of feeling like a very homely, I mean, obviously I wanted it to be really beautiful in such a beautiful tropical surrounding, but I also wanted the house to be a very lived in, loved family home. So it does have some elements of elegance throughout the house, but it also has a kind of warm feeling. I mean, obviously I'm using lots of browns and lots of light brown tones, natural kind of looking tones, which naturally make it feel warmer. And and that's really what I was going for. So the front of the house, which I'm working on at the moment, when I do a bigger lot, I tend to do the structure of the house first and the decoration on the house before I then move on to the front sort of section of the house, so like the garden, the front garden, and then I'll move on to the back. So I decided to kind of focus on the front, and there wasn't really a lot of space. As you can see, there's not a lot of room to work with. I did want to put this kind of fence all the way round. I was umming and ahhing whether to put in a fence or not, but to be honest, I think if you know, in real life had a house this big, you would kind of want it to be fenced off to a certain extent for security, I should imagine. So I did go ahead and put a huge fence all the way around anyway. So overall the front is quite decorative, and I added lots of tropical plants and trees and just made it look really pretty. Tried to complement the house and add these little pops of pink in as well. I really love the fact this world kind of encourages you to use colour, because I'd say that a lot of the time with my building style I do use lots of neutral colours, and the reason for that is because I like to build houses that sort of look realistic. I mean, obviously this doesn't, there's always going to be a Sims element to a house, but I always try and go for kind of normal looking tones, so a lot of them are quite natural and neutral, but with a world like Sulani, it kind of gives you a opportunity to experiment and play around with colour and just kind of make it look a real bright and happy place to be. So I also wanted to kind of add in a element of romance as well, and just sort of really make it look pretty with lots of flowers and just kind of make it look a little touch feminine. And I added this sort of flower kind of sprawling thing up the front of the house as well, up the turret, and it was really fun to kind of play around with lots of different plants. I mean, if you've followed my channel for a while, you'll know that I absolutely love landscaping. It's one of my favourite things that I always enjoy when it comes to doing a build, and to have new items to play around with is so much fun, because it just kind of gives you more option to, you know, play around and come up with something different. So I'd actually say that the back of the house as well was fairly small. There wasn't really a lot of room to play around with. I would have liked a bit more room, but I still managed to kind of fit in everything that I felt I needed to. Although I did kind of play around a lot and I deleted it a lot, and sometimes for me, it's just kind of figuring out where I want things to be and what looks right. Because sometimes I can build things and I can look at the house and think, it just doesn't quite look like everything's in the right place, so I'll have to start again. So basically with the back, I ended up putting in a pool area with some seating, and you know what is a real welcome addition as well, is not having to kind of piece together ottomans with chairs just to try and create like sun lounges. We've actually got them in the game now. Woohoo! And also as well, like the kind of like blow up beds that you can put in the water, like the fun things you can lie on in the pools and, you know, in the sea and things like that. I managed to put one of those in the pool, and it's just really fun. It's nice to not have to be creative with that anymore, that, you know, we've actually got that option in the game. And I was actually sat looking at The Sims today. I was actually looking at my play time within The Sims, which is actually over 5,000 hours now. Now, don't panic, they're not completely, them 5,000 hours aren't me sat solid at The Sims. Sometimes I do just leave my game running, and everyone's different as well. Some people have got an extortionate amount of hours and other people haven't got as many hours, but whatever. It got me thinking about how much time I've actually spent in The Sims, and just what a journey it's been as well as a builder to go from like a much smaller amount of packs. I mean, I started playing The Sims when it was released, The Sims 4, and so my building journey began then, not on YouTube, but you know, with regards to the game. And to think of the limited amount of items I had then to what I have now, I honestly feel like the world is my oyster, and I've no idea when The Sims 4 is going to stop. You know, are we going to have a Sims 5? You know, is that going to be a thing? How long will The Sims 4 run for? How many more expansions are going to come? It's just it feels like a minefield now. I feel like we've got so much stuff, and it's nice. It's really, really nice to think that, you know, I know people moan about the items that we get, or they're not happy with the expansions that are released, or, you know, people are never really fully happy. But to think that I've been playing this game for as long as I have, and they're still pumping out like quality content, is really satisfying, especially when it's a game that I love as well. So yeah, I am really fully loving island living at the moment, and I think quite a few of us are. As far as I've heard, you know, from other builders and other simmers, they're living for it as much as I am. In fact, we've had that much rain in the UK over the last like several weeks. I would happily move here and just have a break from it all and have a really nice holiday. That would be nice. So I'm just moving on to the interior now, and I always tend to start with the kitchen because I feel like the kitchen for me is one of the most challenging rooms. It's the one that tends to have the most stuff in it, and you have to think about the layout. And I always find it's a lot easier when the room's just square like this. I just think it's a lot easier to figure out a layout for the kitchen because it's quite straightforward. So, but I always like to start with the kitchen because I feel like once I've got that out of the way, everything else just kind of is quite easy to do. So I wanted to come up with a really beautiful, light and bright kitchen that I always feel like a kitchen's sort of the hub of the home. It's like the heart of the home. You know, lots and lots of Sims are all your Sims are always going to use the kitchen. They're always going to be in there to eat. And let's face it, the Sims sit at the nearest possible seat, and this kitchen's got seats in it. So the chances are they're going to be spending a fair bit of time in here. So I wanted it to look really nice and pretty. And yeah, I kind of went a little bit all out on decorating it and adding lots of bits and bobs in and making sure they had coffee machines, dishwashers, cookers, fridges and whatnot. Do you know what? I'm going to be completely honest. As soon as I said fridge, I realised I've actually forgot to put in a fridge. And also, not only that, I forgot to put an outdoor bin in, but fear not. I have just been in and edited the build, so you will know no different. But I did actually put a fridge in, and, you know, so it's not missing. I know some people out there go absolutely mad when things are missed, and it's the first thing they like to tell me in the comments. So fear not, we now have a fridge in there. But yes, in this build, it's actually quite a nice size. I like this one. I always feel like I end up saying this about my builds. But if I'm honest, my perfect size lot is a 40 by 30 lot. I feel like it's not really big depending on what you do with it, and it's not really small. I think any smaller for me is too small and any bigger is too big. So I'm really, really glad they've put another 40 by 30 lot in, because I have got no shadow of a doubt that I will be using this plenty in the future. But the actual downstairs of this build has got 2 reception rooms, 2 bathrooms. They're not actually bathrooms, they're more like downstairs toilets, but yes, a place to go to the loo. It's got a dining room, a kitchen, and a kind of like study slash skill building room, it was kind of like a bit of a strange room, and it was in a really weird shape. So I decided to make it into a bit of an entertainment room, and we had a bar area as well as a piano and a chess table and all that kind of stuff, just to keep your Sims really busy. And then in the upstairs of the house, we had 4 bedrooms and a family bathroom. So it was a really good size, and I felt like it would make a really good house, a good long-term house. And it would be easy as well in the upstairs area to maybe add another bed in here and there if you wanted to have an even bigger family in this house. But yeah, I don't think your Sims are going to get lost in this house, is what I'm trying to say. So I really hope you're all well and you're looking forward to the weekend. I have to admit, I cannot wait for the weekend after this morning. Guys, I had an absolute disaster of a morning, and that is thanks to my gorgeous little angelic 2-year-old Delilah. So basically this morning I'm sat down at my computer and I was composing an email. Now my daughter is 2 and she's currently doing a bit of toilet training, and so she's in and out of the bathroom all the time, nipping to the loo. She's actually doing really, really good. But she also likes to get into mischief, and she likes to mess around with kind of shampoos and all that kind of stuff in the bathroom. So I decided to take all of that out to stop her from, accidentally spilling something or like squeezing out all the toothpaste, as you do, damage limitation. So we've bagged all this stuff up and we put it onto the stairs, and it's in like a nappy box on the stairs, and it just kind of keeps it out of the way because the baby gate's there. Anyway, unbeknownst to me, somebody had left the baby gate open. And so whilst I'm composing my email, I decided to get up and I must have just been travelling down the hallway doing something. And I happened to turn round and I had this dark purple bubble bath, which was, as I glanced at the stairs, spilt all down 2 stairs. There was a massive puddle of purple bubble bath just in my cream carpet. It was dribbled up like it was on over 2 stairs, and I literally could have just cried. I just wanted to just cry, and I could feel myself curling into the fetal position as I was looking at this disaster. Now, I'm laughing as I'm telling you this because after something like 2 hours, I finally got it all out. But basically, I panicked. So I went and got our carpet cleaner, and it's got like a handheld bit. And I was really, really scrubbing this carpet, and I was like, oh my God, because we literally had a new carpet last October throughout our whole house. And it is all cream, but it's like stain resistant and this resistant and all this kind of stuff. So, because I know some people might be like, well, why get a cream carpet with children? Well, it's been a really good carpet and it's in really good condition now. So, well, up until this morning, that is. So I'm like scrubbing away at this thing, and I'm like trying to get these stairs completely clean, and there's foam going everywhere as I'm scrubbing it. And then just as I finally think I've finished it, I go to wrap up the carpet cleaner and I put the hose away and I got the wire and I like kind of curled it all up. And as I went to kind of push the carpet cleaner forward to put it away, a massive load of pink kind of bubble bath came out of the bottom of the cleaner and covered the landing. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this carpet cleaner was slowly destroying the rest of the carpets in the house because I ended up scrubbing all of the landing. And then I put the cleaner away eventually and kind of travelled across the landing. And because the landing's kind of quite dark, that there's no windows on our landing, as I'd opened the door, I noticed that the carpet was still a bit pink. So I had to get it out again and scrub it again. Oh, guys, it was a nightmare. And the whole time, my daughter's just running around completely oblivious. So, yeah, that was real fun and games. Rather stressful. So I can't wait for the weekend now because I could really do with a good sleep and to kind of recover a little bit. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you for all your comments as well. I don't always get the time, I must admit, especially not at the moment, to sort of answer everyone. But I always read them and I'm always so appreciative because it's really quite comforting, and especially when you've been away for a while, to come back to see familiar faces that are there and giving you support and love. It's just been, it's really, really lovely to know that that's there, and it's a very surreal thing as well. But I see these names and it's just, it feels really, really warm and loving to know that you guys are out there supporting me still. So thank you so much for that. But just coming back to the build, I am finishing off, I think this is the final bedroom. And basically there were 4 bedrooms in total. We had the master bedroom, and then there was kind of like a teen girly room, a boys room, and then like quite a grown up single male-ish kind of room. I'm saying that as a colour reference, but really you can have anybody sleep in there. It could even be a spare room, that particular room. It's up to you what you do. But I had a lot of fun kind of messing around. I wanted to inject some colour into these bedrooms as well, especially with them being children's rooms. I didn't want them to be all neutral. I wanted to add in a little bit of glamour and a bit of colour to kind of spice things up. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, it would be amazing to have you on board. But I hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Sky's beautiful and so are you. I wanna make it up to you, start something new. Yeah, I've been thinking of the parts I played for you, and how I'm drinking from the bottle as I do. It's like a long dream. You're on the wrong team. Oh, there's a